Right now, there are about 14 million windshields being replaced in America every single year. That is a staggering number. And the average driver is paying somewhere between $300 and $600 out of pocket for each one of those replacements. If your car has any kind of advanced driver assistance system, like lane departure warnings, adaptive cruise control, or automatic braking, you can double that. We're talking $1,000 to $1,500 for a piece of glass and a camera recalibration. But here is the thing nobody in the auto glass industry wants you to know. The majority of those replacements are completely unnecessary. I am not guessing. According to industry data, up to 84% of windshield replacements in the United States could have been repaired instead. Not with some gimmicky hack. Not with clear nail polish like your uncle told you about in 2003. I am talking about a legitimate repair method rooted in Japanese engineering philosophy that costs less than a cup of coffee and takes about 20 minutes in your own driveway. The Japanese have a word for this kind of thinking. Actually, they have an entire cultural philosophy built around it. And once you understand it, you will never look at a cracked windshield the same way again. You will definitely never pay $500 for a replacement without at least trying this first. Let me walk you through exactly what this method is, the science behind why it works, and a step-by-step breakdown so precise that you could do it this weekend with zero experience. I am going to be honest about the limitations too, because there are situations where this will not work. And you need to know what they are before you start. Let's get into it. First, you need to understand why the Japanese approach to repair is fundamentally different from how we think about it in the West. In America, when something breaks, you throw it away and buy a new one. That is our default. Your windshield gets a chip on Tuesday, and by Friday you are at Safelite scheduling a full replacement. Because that is what the insurance company suggested, and the glass shop was more than happy to agree. Kintsugi is an ancient Japanese art form. It dates back to the 15th century. The concept is simple, but powerful. When something breaks, you do not throw it away. You repair it, and the repair itself becomes part of the object's story. Traditional kintsugi uses lacquer from the sap of the urushi tree, mixed with powdered gold, to mend broken pottery and ceramics. A repaired piece is not considered damaged goods. It is considered more valuable than the original because it has a history, because it was worth saving. Now, obviously, nobody is pouring gold dust into their Honda Civic windshield. That philosophy of precision repair over wasteful replacement is exactly what drives Japanese automotive engineering. Japan's auto repair culture is obsessed with preservation. While American shops are incentivized to replace, Japanese technicians are trained to restore. The specific method they refined for glass repair uses UV curable acrylic resin. Applied correctly, this compound can restore a cracked windshield to its original structural integrity. In some cases, the repaired area actually becomes stronger than the original glass. That is not marketing fluff. The industry standard test for windshield repair is called the 3-point bend test, and it measures the mechanical strength of repaired glass against the strength of brand new laminated glass. Top-tier repair resins have been tested at 144% to 152% of new glass strength. That means the repaired section of your windshield is literally stronger than the part that was never damaged. Let me tell you how this plays out in the real world. A friend of mine, she drives a 2019 Toyota Camry, a beautiful car, well-maintained, about 67,000 miles on it. She was driving on the highway last spring when a truck kicked up a rock that caught her windshield dead center. Not a spiderweb, not a shattered mess, just a clean chip about the size of a dime, with 2 small cracks branching out from it, maybe 1.5 inches total. She called the dealership. They told her the windshield needed to be replaced. $480 for the glass, another $350 for ADAS recalibration, Because her Camry has the Toyota Safety Sense suite with the camera mounted behind the windshield. Total estimate, $830 plus tax. She almost did it. Instead, she texted me. I told her to go to any auto parts store, or even Amazon, and pick up a UV resin windshield repair kit. She found one for $9.99. I walked her through the process over the phone. It took her about 25 minutes. The chip virtually disappeared. The cracks sealed completely. That was 11 months ago. She drives that car every single day. Highway commute, rain, heat, freezing temperatures. The repair has not moved. It has not spread. It has not failed. She saved $820 in under half an hour with a $10 kit and zero experience. Now let me break down exactly how this works, because the science is what makes it legitimate, not magic. Your windshield is not a single sheet of glass. It is a laminated safety structure made of 2 layers of glass, bonded together with a layer of polyvinyl butyryl, PVB, sandwiched between them. That PVB interlayer is what keeps the windshield from shattering into your face during a collision. It is engineered to hold everything together, even when the glass fractures. When a rock hits your windshield and creates a chip or a crack, it typically only penetrates the outer layer of glass. The PVB layer and the inner glass layer normally remain intact. This is critical because it means the structural sandwich is still there. You have a surface wound, not a fatal injury. The ultraviolet resin repair method works by filling that surface wound with a specially formulated acrylic compound. This is not superglue. It is not epoxy. It is an ultraviolet curable acrylate resin that has been engineered to have a refractive index almost identical to automotive glass. That refractive index match is what makes the repair nearly invisible. Light passes through the resin the same way it passes through the surrounding glass, so your eye cannot detect the boundary. Here is the step-by-step process. This is the exact method, simplified for anyone to follow. Step 1. Clean the damaged area thoroughly. Use rubbing alcohol and a clean microfiber cloth to remove any dirt, dust, or moisture from the chip or crack. This is arguably the most important step. Any contamination trapped under the resin will show up as a visible imperfection and can compromise the bond. If the crack has been there for a while and dirt has settled in, use a thin pin or the tool included in most kits to gently clear debris from the impact point. Do this in a garage or shaded area, not in direct sunlight, because ultraviolet light will start curing the resin before you are ready. Step 2. Apply the adhesive disc and pedestal. Most kits come with a circular adhesive ring that sticks directly over the damage. This creates an airtight seal around the chip. You then attach a small plastic pedestal on top of that ring. Think of it as a tiny platform that will hold the syringe in place directly over the impact point. Press it firmly. Check from inside the vehicle to make sure there are no air bubbles under the seal. Step 3. Load the resin and create a vacuum. Insert the syringe into the pedestal and inject a small amount of resin into the chamber. Then pull the plunger back slowly. This creates a vacuum inside the crack, which does 2 essential things. It draws trapped air out of the fracture, and it encourages the liquid resin to flow deep into every microscopic branch of the damage. This vacuum cycle is the key to why the Japanese method works so well. Without it, resin just sits on the surface. With it, the resin penetrates the full depth and length of the fracture. Step 4. Do the pressure cycle. After holding the vacuum for several minutes and watching for air bubbles escaping from the resin, push the plunger back down. This forces the resin deeper into the crack under positive pressure. Some kits recommend repeating this vacuum and pressure cycle 2 or 3 times. Do it. Each cycle pushes the resin further and removes more trapped air. Patience here is what separates a repair that looks professional from one that looks like you squirted toothpaste on your windshield. Step 5. Cure with ultraviolet light. Once the resin has fully filled the crack, remove the syringe and the pedestal. Apply a thin curing strip, a small piece of clear film, over the resin. Move the vehicle into direct sunlight or use an ultraviolet curing lamp. The resin needs ultraviolet light at around 365 nanometers to polymerize. In direct sunlight, curing takes about 15 to 30 minutes. With a dedicated ultraviolet lamp, as little as 5 to 10 minutes. Do not rush this. Under-cured resin will remain soft and can fail over time. Step 6. Scrape and polish. Once the resin is fully cured, peel off the curing strip and use a razor blade held vertically against the glass to scrape away any excess resin. Then clean the area with glass cleaner. You should see either a completely invisible repair or at most a very faint mark where the original damage was. From the driver's seat, it should be virtually undetectable. Total cost for everything, the kit, the resin, the curing strips, and the razor blade, is somewhere between $8 and $15 depending on the brand. Most kits include enough resin for multiple repairs. Your cost per repair after the first one drops to basically nothing. Pennies. Now, I need to be upfront about the limitations, because I do not want anyone attempting this on damage that requires professional attention. This method works best on chips smaller than a quarter and cracks shorter than about 6 inches. Bullseye chips, star breaks, and small half-moons are the sweet spot. The resin flows into those shapes easily, and the repairs tend to be nearly invisible. There are situations where you should not attempt this. If the crack runs from edge to edge of the windshield, that is a structural failure. Get the windshield replaced. If the damage is directly in the driver's primary line of sight, and the repair might cause any distortion, even a slight one, replace it. Safety always wins. If the crack has penetrated both layers of glass, or if you can feel the damage from inside the vehicle, the laminate is compromised and repair is not enough. If the damage is near any sensor or camera housing for your advanced driver assistance system, have a professional evaluate it first. Also, timing matters. The sooner you repair a chip, the better the result. A fresh chip with clean edges will fill beautifully and practically disappear. A chip that has been sitting for 6 months, collecting road grime and moisture, will give you a less perfect result. It will still seal and prevent spreading, but it might not look as clean. Here is a pro tip that most people miss. Temperature affects the repair. The ideal glass temperature for resin application is between 70 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. If it is too cold, the resin flows slowly and does not penetrate as deeply. If it is too hot, the resin can start curing from ambient ultraviolet light before you finish the injection process. If you are working in cold weather, run the defroster for a few minutes to warm the glass from the inside. If it is blazing hot, work in the shade and only move to sunlight for the final curing step. Let me put the economics in perspective because the numbers on this are almost absurd. A professional windshield chip repair at a shop costs $50 to $150. A full windshield replacement without advanced driver assistance systems runs $300 to $600. A replacement that requires calibration of advanced driver assistance systems on a newer vehicle can easily hit $1,000 to $1,500. Meanwhile, a single do-it-yourself repair kit costs under $15 and contains enough material for 3 to 5 repairs. If you drive a lot on highways, you are probably picking up 1 or 2 chips a year. Over the life of a vehicle, that is potentially thousands of dollars in replacement costs that could have been a few dollars in resin and 20 minutes of your Saturday. Here is the part that really frustrates me. Windshield damage is the #1 auto insurance claim in America. About 30% of all auto insurance claims are windshield related. The auto glass replacement industry is expected to be worth over $50 billion by 2028. That is billion with a capital B. There are massive financial incentives for shops and insurance companies to push replacements over repairs. A replacement generates hundreds or thousands of dollars in revenue. A repair generates $50. Guess which one gets recommended? This is why nobody talks about this. Not because it does not work. It works brilliantly for the right kind of damage. Nobody talks about it because there is no money in teaching you how to fix it yourself for $10. The Japanese understood this centuries ago. Repair is not a compromise. It is not settling for less. When done correctly with the right materials and the right technique, repair restores full strength and function. Sometimes it makes the object stronger than it was before the damage occurred. That is not a metaphor. That is lab-tested mechanical reality. One more thing I want to address. Some people worry about whether a do-it-yourself repaired windshield will pass state inspection. Here is what you need to know. Federal regulations from the Department of Transportation say you cannot have a crack larger than 3/4 of an inch in diameter, 2 cracks within 3 inches of each other, intersecting cracks, or any crack directly in the driver's view. A properly repaired chip that is sealed and not spreading meets these requirements. The repair has effectively eliminated the crack. In the 30-plus year history of ultraviolet resin windshield repair, there has never been a documented injury or lawsuit resulting from a properly performed repair. There have been plenty of injuries from botched replacements, though. So here is the bottom line. If you have a chip or a short crack in your windshield right now, and most people reading this probably do, you have 2 choices. You can call a glass shop and spend $300 to $1,500 depending on your vehicle and whether your car has cameras and sensors mounted to the windshield. Or you can spend $10, take 20 minutes, and fix it yourself using an ultraviolet resin kit that leverages the same fundamental technology professional shops use, except you are doing it at home for a fraction of the price. The Japanese philosophy of repair over replacement is not just a nice idea. It is practical, it is proven, and it will save you a genuinely stupid amount of money over the life of your vehicle. The only reason more people do not do this is because nobody is making money by telling you about it. Now you know. If this saved you money or changed how you think about windshield damage, hit subscribe. I have more videos coming on the repairs and maintenance hacks that shops do not want going mainstream, because they cut into the bottom line. If you want to see which car brands are the cheapest to maintain over 200,000 miles, with real numbers from real shops, that video is right here. Like if it helped. Take care of your car, and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.